Good morning. The time is 8 a.m. Weather conditions, mostly clear. Temperature, degrees.
Well, she's right. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. And you know what that means? It's time for the Good Morning Net here on the W9DOR repeater located in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, Door County, USA. This net meets 7 days a week for the purpose of good conversation amongst licensed amateur radio operators, all of whom are welcome and encouraged to check in at the appropriate time during the check-in process. And as a secondary feature of the net, we like to keep people in tune with good net operating practices. So try and pay attention to who comes before you and who comes after you in the lineup. It smooths things out greatly in the running of the net. Your net control this morning is Jeff, Kilo Charlie 9, Golf Bravo X-Ray, and I am about 6 miles north of Sturgeon Bay in the town of Sevastopol, where on, I believe this is the official federal holiday for Martin Luther King Day, so I don't think there will be any mail delivery today. It is January the 15th. We're halfway through January. We have 1½ degrees Fahrenheit, a barometer of 30.10 and going up slightly. I'd say pretty solid overcast, but a few patches of blue. Got some clouds that are showing white. And we have winds. These, at least the upper clouds are really zipping along, blowing from west to east. But here at ground level, there's not that much movement in the trees. So we've got some layers of wind, I would say, but it's blowing towards John Kresge's house. Emergency and or priority traffic can break into this net at any time. Let's check for some right now. Nothing heard. 3-minute timer on the repeater. Please limit yourself to less than 3 minutes without or unkey before your 3 minutes are up. Otherwise, you'll time out, and people on ECHOLINK, I think, would have to reset. Anyway, pay attention to the 3-minute timer. As always, we appreciate those of you who do not have licenses and yet choose to listen in. We appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time to be here, and we would encourage you to think about getting a license and joining us. There's always room for more here on the Good Morning Net. Your question of the day. This is like the big overall picture. Are you the kind of person who enjoyed studying, or did you feel like you were forced to study? Was it sort of voluntary or involuntary, your school studying habits? Okay, let's look for people on their way. Unfortunate people on their way to work, people who will not be around for the whole net, or people who are mobile and feel they'll soon be out of range of the repeater. Please check in now.
A9ARZ. Wind blowing Alpha Bravo 9, November.
MPV.
right, we've got 3. Leading off will be Kevin, KA9ARZ, then over to John, AB9NN, and John, you turn it over to Cynthia, AA9VV. Good morning, Kevin. Take it away.
Thanks, Jeff. KC9GBX, KA9ARZ. Very good morning to all on the cool down after the major dumping of snow, where I was out and about at the Y this morning there for the fitness class, and the temperature indicator for the outside was bottoming out at 0, and did not get in the negative numbers there. So anyways, too bad K9IY isn't up in the banana belt of Washington Island anymore, because sounds like that's where the hot spot is for today. And Northfield, Minnesota, they're probably experiencing colder temperatures than if he's up on the island there. So anyways, process of heading out the door there. Hopefully with all the wind blowing won't encounter too much difficulties on the highway roadway this weekend. I was able to maneuver around in the city with not too much difficulty, because like even the main roads, covered with snow and what have you. So we'll see how things go on the main highways. Probably have to practice the winter driving skills. So you look outside and look at the temperature and look at the calendar. Has all the makings of being smack dab in the middle of winter. So let's see how things are weather-wise and otherwise, and hopefully AB9NN not twisting in the wind there over in Beulah. Over to you. This is KA9ARZ. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to everybody on the Good Morning Net from John, AB9NN in snowy, beleaguered Beulah, Michigan, northwest Florida, Michigan, straight across the Lake Michigan from Algoma, 9 miles inland. And still steadily snowing. We've got a solid 13 inches on the ground, and it's probably compacting as the snow is coming down, so we probably got more than that. Currently snowing heavily, and it's had to clear the deck twice so far, so going to have to clear it again after I get done with the net. So it's been a good amount of exercise, to say the least. Let's see, as far as the question of the day, as far as enjoying studying, that's an interesting question. All the way through college, up until the end of college, probably thought that I was forced to study, had to study to get through my classes and that sort of thing. But then when I got into a corporate executive job and personal computers came out, and I wanted to learn how to program and that sort of thing, studying became something that was enjoyable. And certainly when I went for my ham radio license, I studied on my own, didn't work through an Elmer, just studied on the internet and listened to audio CDs from Gordon West. And I got my technician, my general, and my extra class license in quick order. And now I pretty much enjoy studying. If I get a bug up my butt to figure something out, I'll do the studying to get it done. So that's my story. Let me break for reset. Okay, AB9NN returning to the net, and 64 days until spring, 55 days until we change time again, and 119 days until I start estimated first day of mowing, and 157 days until summer. So that's the gist on that. Currently 12.1 degrees in Beulah. Probably a little bit warmer than northeastern Wisconsin, at least it was yesterday. We've got the winds blowing in off of Lake Michigan that keep us a little bit warmer than Wisconsin, where the winds are blowing over the land to get to your thermometers. And we've got a west wind at 9.2 miles an hour, and radar showing lake effect snow in northeast lower Michigan along the perimeter. Solar flux index at 188, and was tickled the last couple of days. I was able to get some 10-meter DX on my long wire antenna that I've got strung up in the rafters of my basement for my RTL-SDR radio dongle. So I've been having fun experimenting with that. That's about it from Beulah. Let me check my note. I guess it's over to AA9BV, I think is the call back from AB9. And then in Beulah, have a great day, everybody. Stay safe in the snow.
AA9NN, this is AA9BV. Thanks a lot, John. Good morning to you and good morning to everyone here in Green Bay. I have no idea how cold it is. I just hope my car starts shortly. The standard poodle edition. I stayed at my mom's house yesterday. We had great fun watching the game. Our butterball turkey that Damien got for us was absolutely delicious, so I'll be having some leftovers this week. And state of Wisconsin, we have off today, which is very interesting to me that they recognize this particular day but not President's Day or Veterans Day. I'm a little peeved about that. Nonetheless, it allows me to get to a couple doctors today, Sam's, birdseed store, a lot of other things that it's hard to get to either after work or on the weekends. Regarding the studying question, I never minded studying. It, I could review, and then, take the test. I always did very, very well or whatever. And even today, you're always being tested and studying, with changes and rules, as you can imagine, with my profession. This is AA9BV, back to net control. Thanks for doing the net check. KC9GBX.
Well, thank you, Cynthia, John, and Kevin for being with us this morning. Hope it's a good day for all of you. And let's see, we've got currently 6 stations showing up on the ECHOLINK board. I think maybe Cynthia was ECHOLINK, so actually 7 on ECHOLINK, but 6 remaining. We'll get back to you in just a moment. Right now, we will take check-ins from all of the RF VHF stations wishing to join us this morning. Please check in now.
This is Kilo Alpha Niner, Whiskey Alpha Romeo.
KA9BXG. W9OBB. It's 9UPE.
9KMA.
Kilo Delta 9 Golf Delta Alpha.
Whiskey Niner, Whiskey Tango Zulu.
Net Control, KC9, LN Zulu. Good morning.
Hey, I think I got everybody here. Let's go through the lineup. If you don't hear your call, come back to me. After ECHOLINK will be Artie, KA9WAR, Bob, KA9BXG, Rick, W9OBB, Larry, N9OSF, Brad, KD9UPE, my trusty sidekick Joan, KC9KMA, Luke, W9LON, Josh, KD9GDA, Larry, another Larry, W9WTZ, and Tom, KC9LN Zulu. Did I miss anybody?
I didn't hear AG9P.
Okay, I got Damien, AG9P. Can you, if I put you at the bottom of the list after Tom, is that okay, or do you need to go earlier?
Tomorrow I won't be here at all. I got a doctor's appointment at 8, but the end of the list today is fine.
Okay, so Tom, KC9LNZ, will turn it over to Damien, AG9P, to wrap up the list. All right, up to ECHOLINK, we've got Michelle, K9GU, leading off. Michelle, you will turn it over to Larry, Kilo, Bravo, 9, Delta, India, Papa. Larry turns it over to Alan, G1AEU. Alan turns it over to Dave with the new call sign, Kilo, Zulu, 6, Delta, Alpha, Victor. Dave turns it over to Phil, W3TOS, and we'll see if Bob, N9AIM, in Indiana, will still be with us by that time, but Phil, give it a try. You'll turn it over to N9AIM. And then AIM turns it over to Artie, KA9WAR. So Michelle, how are things in Appleton? Good morning to you and Judy. This is Monday Net Control, Kilo Charlie 9, Golf Bravo X-Ray on the W9DOR Good Morning Net, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Take it away, Michelle.
Good morning to all. KC9 and GBX. This is Kilo 9 Golf uniform in Appleton in here, where the sky is definitely all clear in here. That's a nice change of color in here, but it's cold, and the temperature is -2 in here, and that's very cold, and it was cold over there yesterday. The barometric pressure is 30.09, and the humidity outside is 77% in here. But to look at it, the weather looks very nice in here, but I've not been outside this morning, in fact yesterday, and it is definitely very cold in here, so we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be cold for several days in this region in here. We don't have any big plans this morning, but I think tomorrow easy an appointment to follow, so maybe I won't be on the net quite as long tomorrow, but this does not apply for today and here, so that's about the big plans that we have for today this morning, and I'll pass it on to KB9 IP. I missed one letter, I think. This is K9GU. Good morning to all, by all means.
What's one letter among friends? I'm Michelle. KB9DIP Larry in Algonquin, Illinois. Temperature's -5. It's been minus for a long time. Glad I don't have to go out. Shovel the walks. I don't know for what. Who goes out? And do I study? Well, I always knew. Well, not always, but I knew that in order to reach your goal C, you had to study B. So it was a necessary evil. But as long as I didn't have to, I didn't. There was no extra curricular or extra credit for me. No, sir. Read pages 1 through 7. I didn't even peek at page 8. You know what I mean? It was just simple. And I just did enough to keep my head above water. But I got out the other end. What the heck? That's what it's all about. And then leading a good life. Anyway, cold, boys and girls. It really is. And I can imagine Alan over there in England. I don't think he gets as cold, but my gosh, he sure gets enough rainy weather. Alan, over to you, big boy. KB9DIP over to G1AEU.
KB9DLP from D1AU. Now, good morning, everybody. I hope I'm not too cold, but I've seen the temperature over there, and it's very low, very nice indeed. 1 and 8 and -8 and 2. So, here we are, 41 Fahrenheit. That is cold enough. 18 miles an hour wind. That's 29.91 kilometers. That's 63% humidity. Look, I've seen looking around the flooring, and it's been showing in one place in Holland, and one place in Poland, and I believe it's flowing in Scotland. So, best thing we can do is sit by the fire and keep warm. Hey, Scott. So, as far as study is concerned, I've always been a studier, except in the last couple of years. And then, I mean, in all my work, various jobs, I've had to pass exams to go up higher up and ladder. And when I retired, I had to do the same. The better classification RE, and everything exam means people will study. So and my gosh, guess I'm studying. I read about America, American Railways, and America with the study in particular. Anyway, KZ6DAV. Go ahead, Dave. All road.
This is Kate. Good morning, and thank you, Alan. Great stuff. I love the way you laugh. That's great. Morning, everybody, including my buddy Larry. Sorry I didn't come up before, but good to hear everybody. It's always warm for me to hear everybody. I tell you, out here in California, it's been one thing after another. We've had below freezing temperatures, nothing like you guys, but for us it's pretty darn cold, and that here we we are at 47 degrees at 6:25 in the morning. Sun not brightening the sky yet, so we'll have to see what happens. But other than that, I'm doing well. And, talking about studying, I did a great job studying for my novice license and my general. And, got through the code tests and all that stuff by practicing and studying. In school, I was surprised I graduated with such high marks because I don't remember studying. It's like leading a horse to water. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You sit a kid down at a desk or a table, but you got to get that transfer from the paper into the brain through the eyes. And anyway, that wasn't terribly like me, but I still made it. And always thought I could take tests and pass them even without studying. And sometimes I did. But anyway, I didn't go out and fool around. I just did other things. So that's about it from here. I am just so proud of the Green Bay Packers. I watched the game yesterday and was awestruck for what they did over the whole season. And they did a fantastic job, and I rooted on for them every step of the way. And our LA Rams, not quite. Anyway, Kay, I'm going to hit the buzzer here. KZ6DAZ over to W3TOS.
Good morning, all. W3TOS here in Green Bay. Currently 4 degrees. Wind chill minus 23. 13 inches of snow. So, did I enjoy studying? Yes, I enjoyed studying. Worked hard for my high school degree, and was very high achieving student. Got went to college and got my degree in radio and television, and then also got a master's degree. So I studied very hard. Of course, I had to study for my novice and for my general and pass those code tests. And right now I'm studying for my XPS. All right, let's turn it over to N9AIM. Are you on? This is W3TOS.
Well, Bob, N9AIM, has been on and off and on and off, but he's currently off. So we'll try him again later, but now we'll go over to Artie, KA9WAR.
Thank you, Jeff. This is KA9WAR. Here in Peshtigo is nice, bright sunshine, 1 degree on the temperature. Saturday, my grandson came and took care of my driveway. Also on Saturday, my main monitor went out, and I can't get on digital radio until we get that fixed. So we're into complete changes here. Everything is all upset, and I'm probably going to have to take apart everything to see that it gets going. Although at the first of the year, Dwight NS9I got me on a program there that the start of the year And so far, since January 1st, I've worked all states, and also I've had more than 100 different countries, so it's going good in that respect. As far as the backer game goes, we certainly enjoyed the outcome, and we did watch the Lion game until bedtime. As far as studying goes, I never studied much in high school. I did do well in Latin. I think I got either a D or an F, but I didn't really study. But when it came to get into the military, into aviation cadet training, I had to really study to keep up because everything there was at accelerated time. And the topic there was if you dropped your pencil, you lost 1 hour, 1 week of college. Anyway, we'll see what goes. K8IBXG, this is K8IWAR. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good morning. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the day that it is so far. Nice, bright, sunny skies. Feels like -19, but it is only -3, so it's not bad at all. All right. I am going to go outside and disconnect the Christmas lights, just unplug them and leave them sit for a week or two until it starts warming up. Not too much going on here. Just taking it easy, trying to recuperate a little bit for studying. High school, I never studied hardly at all. I do remember when I was studying for my general license. Boy, I spent just countless hours. That was back when Artie would remember. There was no question pools that you could look at. There was no shortcuts. I learned off the MECO study guide. So they gave you the book and they said, learn everything in there. And once you learn everything, you should be able to pass the test. And I was never a good student, so it took me a long time. So every day when I was working, I would sit in my van for lunch, and I would sit and study. But like I said, there was no pool that you could look at to see what the questions really were. And nobody was giving you the answers on anything. So it was rough for me anyhow. Not a very good studier. So that's about it. We'll send it over to Rick, OBB, K9BXG.
Thank you, Bob. This is W9OBB Green Bay, where it is -1. We do have an 8 to 10 mile an hour wind, pretty steady in that range, which calculates out, I guess, to a -13 below wind chill, how it feels on the skin. To answer the question, my dedication to study was in direct proportion to how much I liked the subject matter. And I wasn't a great student, that's for sure, but I made it through. And I studied on my own to get my first class FCC radio telephone license. That's the commercial version of the broadcast industry and the two-way radio servicing industry and all of that stuff. And it was not easy. I don't know what it's like today, but it took quite a while. And doing it on my own made it that much more difficult. But always had no problem studying science. I just couldn't get enough of science in that case. So, there hasn't been many comments about that football game late yesterday afternoon, but I don't know how many. I don't know who in the heck ever saw that coming. But you talk about if you look at everything on paper, Dallas should have just steamrolled over Green Bay, and that is just the opposite that happened. If any steamrolling was done, it was done by the Packers. So I just couldn't get over that, and I still can't get over it this morning. It was quite a spectacle. And with that, I'm going to go over to Larry. I think that just about covers everything I have here. Oh, later this afternoon, Sue and I have to journey out in the cold and go to a funeral over in De Pere. We had neighbors that lived behind us here for over 40 years, and her brother died. So we're going to go see him and her. N9 OSF W9 OBB.
Correct, W9 OBB and NSF. Here's 5 below, clear and a little bit of breeze. Otherwise, no, I didn't study that much. I hated studying C's and D's much. But otherwise, as though I got a business on my folks, so I made pretty good out on it. So otherwise, and today's work around the house a little bit where it's warm. I know Randy wants me to come over and help him with the snowblower, pick the snowblower up, going up at our friend's place, and he was working at Ghostbusters, so we'll see what time he calls. So otherwise, I know it's, boy, what a game that was. I meant that just like you said, Rick, they got steamrolled it, but I don't know. I don't know if the big boys were, I shouldn't say this, but the big boys were playing the point spread on that, but they want the Packers to win. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking negative, but otherwise, boy, it's unusual the Packers win against the Dallas. So otherwise, back in this day's history, on this day in history, January 15, 2009, U.S. Airways flight makes it. Am I correct, Chris? Landing Miracle, in the Hudson River there, so with Scully there. So otherwise, a little bit of history. So otherwise, not much more to add. And 4 below is warmed up at 3, 5 now it's 4. So although this is January, but next week I see it's supposed to rain next week, Monday or Tuesday, but it's supposed to warm up, so a cold stretch. So not much more to add. I say good morning by after you, Brad. 89 UPE. This is N and I think good morning here, but that's listening out there.
N9 OSF. Good morning, Larry, and good morning to everyone on the net. This is KD9 UPE with you this morning. I wasn't a good student in my youth either, unless the subject matter could keep me occupied, or I had really good teachers that I look back upon and think taught life besides the subject matter. And I think if how the schooling might relate in our lifetime is the way to present it, even if you do less work involved in areas where you don't need all the practice, like math and stuff like that, to just discuss it and show how it would help you later on. But and I think I don't know. I figured it. I kind of think I got it figured now after all these years on the planet that some of the things that I didn't get bored. I heard a guy on the radio on HF one night just listening in that said he'd work at places until he got bored and moved on. But I think for me, it was when a person chose what they were going to do in their life, in their work. If the respect wasn't shown for those various positions, then I'd get angry and leave. But at any rate, then when I returned to school in later years here, back around 2010, stuff like that, there were years in there, I decided I know I can do these, get good grades in all these subjects, and I'm going to prove it, and I did quite well. But then I
I had a better understanding of what everything meant to me to learn and how it would help me in my in my work and everything. So got much better at it in later years, and did pretty well in the electromechanical automation area, which was not easy. That was pretty tough. There was a lot of work to do. So let's see. Oh, the game. I couldn't explain it either. I expected a game something like LA and Detroit, and I really didn't see it coming that the Packers could manhandle that well. So with that, then over to Joan, KC9KMA. This is KD9UPE. Good morning, Joan.
Well, thank you, Brad, and good morning to you. Yeah, Jeff and I not only enjoyed the game, we enjoyed texting, calling with a couple of neighbors nearby going, was this supposed to happen? The guy's like, no, we were supposed to lose by 7. Oh, okay, well then I guess we really are enjoying this. Anyway, back and forth. It was pretty much fun. And has anybody seen news? I did not. How much snow did Buffalo get? And obviously they moved the game to today, and what a good idea that was. But, it's been suggested, but why don't they do these postseason games in warm towns with, domes? Just asking for a friend. Okay, here's a shock. It's cold. It's 1.6 degrees, 10 below wind chill. But it just reminds me of living in the old house where this is the season we'd have to leave the kitchen sink dripping so that the water wouldn't freeze. We're not going above 20 until Sunday. And I don't know if we're going to get rain if it's 20 degrees. We better not. But if anyone wants to see the video my neighbor sent of his snow blower, which is attached to his riding lawnmower, it's probably like Damien's, but he's got a cab on it, so it's got a windshield wiper, surround, he's sitting on the thing, driving up and down his driveway, and so he's got his phone with him. He takes a video and sends it to me like, wah, wah, We, of course, were out in the elements, and then if you saw Facebook, you saw our very other good neighbor come up with his monster errands. The thing with the forward and reverse autopilot, whatever it's called, power. Bruce laughing. Anyway, it just is so helpful to have machines to clear. Some parts of our snow are 30 inches deep, some, 6, 7, but it depends where you are. There's a lot of snow out here, and it's cold. It's going nowhere, but magically some is sublimating off the driveway, which answers the question, did I enjoy studying? I'll pause. In our family, education and higher education was just in the water, and so it's what one did. You went to school, you learned, and you kept going until they made you stop. And so sublimation is a science thing, and so clearly some parts of my early childhood education stuck with me, and other parts are just gone forever. But I will say that in my education, the hardest thing I ever did was get my extra class because it was nowhere near a familiar subject or things I knew anything about. And so I have not been able to retain it because I don't use it. And so if you ask me to explain a sine wave or a potentiometer or whatever the heck, no, cannot do it. Okay, Bob, I'm glad you're feeling better. You sound better. You did not sound good last week. So good for you. You got some medicine. I'm happy to hear it. Okay, over to Luke. Thanks for waiting. W9LON, KC9KMA.
W9LON, portable crossband. Thanks, Joan. Boy, do I hear you when you talk about some of those things just beating your mind. We are recovering after, I had an illness, and then we had 3 grandchildren for 8 days, which is like running a marathon as far as I'm concerned. We're doing well, and and the asthma is recovering after the tree experience. But do I like to study? Yes, definitely. It depends on the topic. If there's a person or a project attached to it, I can see it, I can learn it, and it's exciting, especially if I can imagine teaching it to somebody else. I just ordered some materials for the extra class license. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know when I'll get to it, but right now just studying to keep up with church. Just finishing up, I realized my radio has a cutoff about a minute. So anyway, looking forward to a good day, just kind of continuing to clean up the house. So W9LON over to KD9GDA. I will be just a once and done this morning. W9LON clear.
W9LON, KD9GDA. Good morning, Luke. Good morning, everyone. Studying. I did not like to study. However, I think back when you kind of had to study in order to pass a class because they would fail you. And I don't feel like nowadays that's really an option. You really got to try to get failed out of a class. I know with our kids, like with math class, the answer was always 20 minutes a day, and that's it. No more, because kids shut down, and, you know, that's the end of that. And we would make the kids finish their homework, and we would, at parent-teacher conferences, explain the concept of why 20 minutes was all they should be required to do. And, well, I don't feel like that's the right way to do it. Because to me, that teaches a child that you only have to put in X amount of effort, and if you didn't get it done, then, well, good enough. And I think that's wrong. But that's me, and people disagree with that, and that's fine. But it definitely shows, I can tell you that. Both of my kids have struggled with math, and other subjects, because they don't bring home homework anymore. There's no quote-unquote studying. But I did not like to study, however, that was part of the gig. But going through college and stuff, I had no problem. I enjoyed it. Like paramedic, I loved it. I mean, I didn't love it, but it was exciting learning. But I think, once you start learning something you're excited about, it's not really learning. It's learning, but it's different. Well, hopefully get this inner tie rod today and get that put in, and hopefully get to the other side of this car. This has been a extremely slow project. Was hoping to have this done in 3 hours. It's now 5 days, just because lack of parts in the area. So with that, I had some other stuff to say and I forgot. W9WTZ KD9GDA. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Josh. W9WTZ. Boy, echo what some of the people are saying here. You know, high school, I cut English class to sneak down the auto shop. And when I got to college, all of a sudden, everyone was interested in the same things as me, and they were interested in learning. And it just did a 180 on my attitude once I got out of high school. Went out to the barn early this morning, about 5:30, just to kind of do a welfare check. Nobody complained about early breakfast. I've got about 2 below in the shade. The front porch, the south porch, is a comfortable 10 degrees, and the cats are enjoying the padded rocking chairs and carpet out there. I got 3 cats sunning themselves. So how bad can it be, huh? The goal for all of this, when it was only a forecast, like last Thursday, was to keep the fireplace lit for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So far, we're right on track for that. And just staying in the house a lot. W9WTC, over to LN Zulu. Good morning, Tom.
Thank you, sir. KC9, LN Zulu here. Well, good morning to all. It's -1 or 2 here. Flips back and forth between it. And light to no wind. Right now, no wind at all. And sunny skies. So a good start to the day, I'll say. Other than that, not much planned for today. Don't have to go to the store or anything like that. May run an errand later, pick up something. I forget right now, but I'm probably going to remember it after I hang up here. Other than that, garbage cans are out. Neighbors have got theirs out. I haven't put mine out yet because since I by myself, I don't fill them up as fast as they do with families or other people. But other than that, not much else new to report. So we'll leave it as is. Everybody have a good day. Take care out there. Be careful. And I believe it goes over to AG9P. Good morning. KC9, LN Zulu.
AG9P Ocano, -1. The low was -3. Peak wind is 8, and otherwise it's 2 and 4. Yeah, that was a nice game yesterday, but they didn't show enough, only at the beginning of the Dallas cheerleaders. So I'm trying to get Cynthia to send address on the internet to all of you so you can see what the Dallas cheerleaders are going to do at our wedding. Let's see. For education, I've always taken orders every day from women, and in the old days, my mother's orders was keep faithfully busy and leave the end result to itself. And I never could study enough to get it all done, but it worked. Like in high school, I only went to classes in the morning. I had a job in the afternoon, and in college, I always had a job. But I was still valedictorian in high school and also in electrical engineering degree. I was a top student. And then for my Master of Science, I had a perfect 4.0. And I had to even take the oral exams for doctor's degree, but Marquette University didn't offer a doctor's degree at the time. And for the worst class ever, Stanford University, statistics. All they talked about was gambling, like card games and everything else like that. Never sign up for statistics at Stanford. AG9P, back to GBX.
Okay, thanks, Damien. And yeah, I would think the correlation between statistics and gambling is so close that it makes perfect sense that they would tie those together. But if you had no interest in gambling, it would kind of negate studying statistics. But I know it's big in the medical profession, and where else is statistics? Probably life insurance, I don't know. Let's see, a couple of quick comments. Yes, the Packer game yesterday, we watched the entire game, and I would have to say, I was thinking I need to get a t-shirt printed up that says, I'll be dipped, because I didn't give the Packers a chance this season, and they have just shocked me, and it's nice to see. I really hope they do well against San Francisco next week. The other thing, I believe it was just a week ago, last Monday, we still had grass visible, and it didn't seem like we had had much of a winter yet. Well, what a difference a week makes. Okay, let's see. We'll check right now. Look for any additional check-ins for this morning's net. New check-ins, please come now.
9 UUB.
Good morning, Bruce. W9 UUB. Go ahead and take it.
Good morning, everyone. W9 UUB. Boy, I really can sack out when it's this chilly. Woke up at about 6:45 and thought about moving, and then I thought, for what reason? Like everyone else, didn't do much yesterday. Had to move some equipment around, needed firewood. Really have been zooming through that, so I had to get the tractor out of the garage. That was fun. And that's about it. I was a hermit. Tomorrow I got a project going, and this is going to be interesting. Coldest day of the week, and we're going to be cutting firewood for wood turning. One of the instructors in the class suggested getting together over in the Dykesville area. And I'm going just to see what's going on and see what they're harvesting, but I want to maybe stay close to my truck. Back to you, Jeff. W9 UUB.
Okay, Bruce. You'll do what feels right, what's best for you. Thanks for checking in this morning. Okay, we'll swing. I will just throw it out there for ECHOLINK stations. If you would like to make a second transmission, please indicate so right now.
DIP.
Oh, good morning to you. Just one small comment in here, if that's okay. I think I heard Joan talking about water dropping to keep it from getting swollen during the winter here. This reminds me of one thing. In the first house we had in Cleveland, this is something we had to do every time in the winter in here, is to let the water drop because we didn't have any other system to protect the water from freezing in here. So we did that for a number of years and so on. We don't have to do that anymore here, and we haven't done that in many years anymore. But at the time, this is what happened, and it worked out all right. So I hope that it works fine for Joan at the current times also. Once again, good morning to all. This is Canine GU.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. And I've got Larry, KB9DIP, wanting to make a comment. Any other ECHOLINK stations wanting a second go, please indicate now. Right, my trusty sidekick says the board was quiet there, so over to Larry, KB9DIP.
Hi, folks. Yeah, I too watched the game yesterday. It's nice to be able to watch a real professional football game. But I wonder if public accountability has anything to do with it. You know, the other teams are all privately owned, and $1 million here, $1 million there. Who cares to the owners, really? But when you're publicly traded like the Packers are, I wonder if there's more of a sense of accountability to the owners, the real owners, that is you, the people who bought into the thing, rather than just coasting along for 1 or 2 years, knowing you're going to get cut and move on to another team because of your alleged prowess in the sport that you failed to live up to. It's amazing how they rose to the occasion, isn't it? I mean, the only thing I can remember about that is there was no incentive to the 85 Bears, but it was just, after a while, they started to build. Every once in a while, that kind of thing happens, but for the Packers, it always happens like that. Oh, I know there's some seasons that stink, but not generations that stink like Chicago teams. And I'm just wondering if the players feel a responsibility to the owners, and that is the average Joe who buys into that thing. KB9DIP, because it sure shows. I mean, something is on with that team. KB9DIP, Claire.
Good morning. The time is 9 a.m. Weather conditions: cloudy, temperature 3 degrees.
Okay, thanks, Larry. Just as you were wrapping up, I said to Joan, we were thinking back to the 85 Bears, and I said, wow, I can't remember the quarterback's last name. Was Jim something, and she pondered and then came up with McMahon, so now we can rest easily. When we moved up here and got a little more immersed in the Wisconsin culture and Green Bay culture, we thought this is kind of neat that the town sort of has ownership of the team, but I don't quite understand exactly how it works. I don't think there can be a hostile takeover of the team by a group of upset neighbors banding together, but still, it's kind of neat to think that whatever 100,000, 200,000 people each chip in a certain amount of money, and they've got a stake in the team. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the country, I don't think. And as far as the question of the day, I did not really enjoy studying, but I think my saving grace was I didn't lock up at test time. I kind of went into tests thinking I was going to be okay, and I was, so I made it through the system, as everyone says, the system. Life just kind of worked out. So anyway, we're glad to be here in Door County. All right, one last chance for check-ins or comments, and we'll wrap it up.
KC9 KMA returning to say to Michelle, no, we do not have to do any special maneuvers in the new house with wonderful Wisconsin insulation. The water is safe, and the only thing Jeff does when it's really cold like this is build a fire in the enclosed fireplace downstairs, and if he kept it full and on full blast, we would be able to do most of the heating with the fireplace. But just like Bob, we keep it perking away, and it just adds a little bit of warmth to the house. Okay, everybody have a toasty day, and I'll send it back to net control.
Okay, KC9GBX returning just long enough to say thank you to radio station WDOR for providing space for our equipment and our antenna. Much appreciated. And I think that's it. We're going to close the net and hope you all come back tomorrow. In the meantime, returning the W9DOR repeater to normal amateur use, this is KC9GBX saying thanks again, everyone, and 73.
W9 UUB forgot to throw in his 2 cents on testing, and I'll tell you the toughest test I took was the instrument rating written exam for flying. that was typical government no fun. What do you think, Joan? You gonna go outside today?
For that, Bruce, I'm going to read you the Facebook post I just read. Person, how many loads of laundry can this hold? Salesperson, ma'am, this is a dining room table. Have a nice day. I don't know that we need to go out. I'm looking. There really is not any drifting on the edge. Jeff, of course, likes a tidy 90-degree edge of his driveway plowing, and so he will go out there with the small shovel infinitely and smooth off those edges to tidy them up. I think he may not today do that. What's the purpose? Gotta feed the birds. Oh, well, that often involves a shovel. Okay, that's it, Bruce. Hey, were you surprised by the game?
Oh my goodness, I didn't want him to be embarrassed. I didn't want him to, it was just... I was doing a little reading yesterday, of course, and 9 sports guys, and I don't know, I think they were ESPN guys, went through all of the games yesterday, and, I think the Detroit game was like a 50-50 and a few other things like that. But 9 guys voted for the Cowboys. So I'm reading this to Chris, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But I'm surfing right now for Jerry Jones videos because supposedly back in the day, he got just incensed when they would put the camera on his skybox, and he went to the NFL or the ESPN or the league and said, you cannot do this anymore. You cannot put the camera on the owner's box. And I think there's some kind of written rule that says they can only do it for like 7 seconds. But he would have a tirade. So I have to search for a little bit of that.
Well, I don't know or care about Jerry Jones. The one Jeff and I saw, you did too, was the woman in the fourth quarter. There's been another score, and she's got the face, just the what you would think, this fair and shocked face. And I said, that's the meme. That's the one that's going to circulate. And I was surprised. They did, the one I saw, but not long enough, was the 2 boys next to their mom, and one's got his face in his mom's lap, and the other one is like hands over his mouth, and a little schadenfreude, but you've come to the right place if you want that. Here's a tip for you and Chris. Do not waste a minute of your life on Speed 2 with Sandra Bullock. Could have been good, William Dafoe. It was a terrible movie. We watched it, but it was a terrible movie. I got 20 or 30 good ones in the pipe, ready to watch. But no, we watched this one after the game. Oh, there's something wrong with us in the winter.
Oh, yeah, right now I'm searching to see what Mike McCarthy's future is, and it's pretty much up in the air. I saved some cardboard boxes in the basement.
Just laughing out loud. Yeah, but the talking head on the show, which, by the way, don't the announcers make all the difference? And I do not think those guys are particularly interesting. But one of them said, you have to ask yourself, would anyone else hire Mike McCarthy? And if the answer is yes, and he felt there were teams that would snatch him up immediately, this would be a cautionary tale for Dallas not to get rid of him. So I don't know. It to be embarrassing, right? His whole team just slaughtering him. But they were running unimpeded into the end zone. It was just kind of fun in that first, was it the early quarter? You know, boom, boom, a couple of scores. And next thing you know, it looks like a pretty substantial lead. And I was terribly amused when they pulled the quarterback in the front line of whatever. You know, it's like, oh, this is well in. And then like somebody said, the guys are ripping their tape off. Except they had to go back in. So anyway, I don't know. It was a great game.
That it was. You know, it's always amazing how they can, you know, you kind of do this to kind of prevent defense thing, and so at the end of the game, you end up letting it get first down. Seems like when you process it, they make that again. When you're hit by that much, I guess you can afford to do that, but they could have, you could have gotten careless at the end of the game there. Nasty careless, so I'm glad they rethought the substitution.
My question that came up when whoever kicked the end point and then point upright. Apparently he had some issue, and so my question is, does he have the teenage thing box?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that some of these guys like going, you know, when if you're a coach and when it's a Super Bowl, you'd think you kind of do like Cobra and kind of just swap off. But I guess we have to be careful about all he was in his 70s. Well, we have a great one. CCI, KMA,